Hey everyone, before I dive into this story, let me pull you into a moment that shattered my world. For 9 years, I believed my marriage was a safe harbor, built on love, trust, and shared dreams. I thought I knew my husband, the man whose laughter filled our home, whose promises anchored my heart. Then, one quiet afternoon, a hidden truth cracked that foundation wide open, leaving me to rebuild from the ruins. What happened next wasn't about revenge or rage. It was about rediscovering my strength, about choosing a life that honored me, not the lies I'd lived. Stick with me, because this story is raw, real, and will hit you right in the soul. Drop a comment to let me know where you're watching from. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This one's going to stay with you. My name is Hannah Sullivan. I'm 38, a pediatric nurse living in Boise, Idaho, in a ranch-style house where the front porch hums with the creak of a wooden swing, its cedar scent mingling with the crisp mountain air, and the backyard blooms with sunflowers, their golden petals swaying like tiny suns, dusting the breeze with earthy warmth. I'm not one for the spotlight. I find peace in the soft beeps of hospital monitors, the rustle of patient charts, or the chatter of friends at our weekly game night, the air thick with popcorn and laughter. But if there's one thing that's always defined me, it's my devotion to family. Growing up in Boise's rugged embrace, I learned love is steady, Mom's pot roast simmering, its savory steam curling through the kitchen, Dad's fishing stories, his voice a low hum like the Snake River at dusk. That's the life I poured into my marriage, and when I met Michael at 29, I thought I'd found it. Michael was my rock, with a smile that glowed like morning light and a quiet strength that felt like home. We met at a hospital fundraiser, the air buzzing with cider and live music, bonding over a shared love of board games. By our second date, I knew he was my forever. We married a year later, under a canopy of pines, vowing to weather every storm together. For 9 years, we built a life, buying our house, hiking Boise foothills, dreaming of kids who'd chase sunflowers in our yard. Every year, we hosted a game night to mark our anniversary, setting the table with Mom's ceramic bowls, their blue glaze warm under lamplight, Michael's laughter rolling as he rolled dice. But last spring, a discovery in the shadows of our garage broke everything I thought I knew. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I thought it was honest. Michael, a contractor, worked long hours, his truck rattling with tools, but he'd come home with a kiss that tasted of sawdust and mint, sharing stories of quirky clients. I kept our life vibrant, cooking dinners, the kitchen alive with garlic's sharp bite, planning game nights, arranging sunflowers in vases, their petals soft as a promise. I'd slip notes into his lunchbox, inked with love, and he'd bring me pine cones from job sites, their resinous tang a nod to our wedding day. But a year ago, Michael grew distant. He'd linger in the garage, his phone glowing, the air heavy with oil and metal. "Just work," he'd mutter, his voice clipped when I asked about his day. "Don't fuss, Hannah." I tried not to. I told myself it was stress. His business was expanding, bids piling up. But the distance deepened. He'd miss game nights, the living room quiet without his dice rolls, and snap when I reached for him. His words sharp as the crack of a hammer. "You're always hovering," he said, his voice slicing through the dishwasher's hum. I swallowed my hurt, blaming myself for clinging, and poured my heart into our home. Polishing Mom's bowls, their glaze cool under my fingers. Baking cornbread, its golden crust scenting the air, hoping to draw him back. But the cracks widened, and I felt him slipping, like a sunflower drooping in drought. Last April, as our 9th anniversary approached, I planned a game night to reconnect, to remind us of our love. I invited our closest friends, Lydia, my hospital colleague who loved Michael's humor, Ben, his hiking buddy who shared our board game obsession, and Tara, our neighbor who baked with me. I wanted this night to heal us, but a week before, Michael was more secretive than ever. He'd take calls in the garage, the doors creak a sharp rebuke, and I found a receipt for a phone plan in his truck, separate from ours, tucked under a pine cone, its ink smudged but clear. "What's this?" I asked, my voice trembling, the sunflower on our counter wilting, its scent faint. He snatched it, his face tight. "Client thing," he said, his eyes dodging mine. "Stop digging, Hannah." My stomach churned, but I clung to hope, arranging sunflowers, their golden glow a fragile anchor. The day before our anniversary, I needed a screwdriver for a loose porch swing bolt, the cedar's scent sharp in the spring air. Michael was at a site, his truck's rumble faded. So I went to the garage, the air thick with oil's metallic tang and sawdust's dry bite. Behind his tool cabinet, tucked in a dusty corner, I found a small box, its cardboard worn, rattling faintly. Inside was a second phone, a cheap burner, its screen cracked but glowing when I powered it on. My heart stopped. The passcode was our anniversary date, a bitter irony, and the messages gutted me. Flirty texts to Amanda, plans for drinks, photos of a woman with dark hair, her smile wide. "Can't wait to see you," one read, dated yesterday. I sank to the concrete floor, the phone's cold glass burning my hands, the sunflower bouquet on the counter blurring through tears, its scent sour. "Hannah," I whispered, my voice breaking. "How did you miss this?" I wanted to scream, smash the phone, confront him, but I didn't. I set it back, my heart pounding like a trapped bird, and retreated to the porch swing, the creak of the chains blending with the breeze's soft hiss, the sunflowers swaying in the dusk, their golden petals mocking me. The betrayal wasn't just the phone, it was the life he'd hidden, the lies woven into every kiss, every game night. But beneath the pain, a spark flickered. Not anger, but resolve. I couldn't let this define me. I had to reclaim my life, my heart, my worth. I didn't confront Michael that night. I sat on the porch swing, the mountain air chilling my skin, clutching a sunflower, its petals crumpling in my trembling fingers, its earthy scent heavy with grief. The second phone's messages, "Amanda, drinks," looped in my mind, each a wound. I'd given 9 years, my love, my trust, my nights, to a man who'd built a secret life behind my back. I thought of our game nights, the dice clattering, the notes I'd inked, now tainted by lies. I could have burned his clothes, left, or exposed him to our friends. But as dawn broke, the sunflowers glowing with dew, their golden faces defiant in the mist, I heard Mom's voice in my soul. "Love doesn't break you, Hannah. It makes you taller." I had to rise, not for Michael, but for me. So I decided to host a new dawn game night, not to celebrate our marriage, but to honor the woman I was, the nurse, the friend, the dreamer, surrounded by those who saw my light. I wanted to fill our home with laughter, warmth, and sunflower's earthy vow to prove I was more than his betrayal. The next morning, I sat at my kitchen table, the air thick with the bitter tang of cold coffee, steam curling like a lost hope. The tables pined cool under my palms. I chose our living room, where game boards had sparked joy, their colors vivid under lamplight as the setting. I made a list: pot roast slow-cooked with rosemary's piney bite, cornbread golden and steaming, iced tea tart with mint, and a playlist of our game night anthems. The Lumineers' Earthy Pulse, Nora Jones's soulful croon. I called those who'd held me: Lydia, who shared my hospital shifts, Ben, who hiked with us, and my sister Grace, whose hugs smelled of lavender and steadied me after Dad's passing. I didn't tell Michael about the phone. I needed this night for me first. He came home that evening, oblivious, his kiss a faint brush, the sawdust tang clinging to him. "Game night tomorrow, right?" he said, smiling. I nodded, my heart a stone, and kept the secret. I sent invites to our friends, framing it as a night to toast new beginnings, inspired by our games. I spent the day cooking, the kitchen alive with pot roast's savory steam, cornbread's sweet crumble, the clink of Mom's ceramic bowls, their blue glaze gleaming like a summer sky. I arranged sunflowers in mason jars, their golden petals bold, their scent a warm, earthy promise, and hung fairy lights in the living room, their amber glow weaving through game boards, casting shadows on the dice we'd rolled. I set a framed photo of our first game night, Michael and I laughing, beside a sunflower sketch I'd drawn, its lines fierce. I wore a sage green dress, its fabric soft as a breeze, a sunflower pinned to my chest, its fragrance a vow of rebirth. The game night was set for our anniversary evening. The sky a wash of indigo and gold, the sunflowers heavy with dew, their scent drifting through the open windows. I stood in the living room, my heart racing like a river as guests arrived. Lydia brought brownies, their chocolatey warmth curling like a hug, her embrace tight. "You're glowing, Hannah," she whispered, her voice thick. Ben carried iced tea, its mint tang sharp as hope, his grin warm. "This is epic," he said. Grace squeezed my hand, her scarf soft, her voice breaking. "You're my hero, Han." Michael arrived, his work boots scuffing, confusion in his eyes. "Big setup," he said, his voice low. I met his gaze, my voice steady, the sunflower's scent anchoring me. "It's for me, Michael. Stay or go. It's your choice." The night bloomed like the sunflowers around us. We savored pot roast, its rosemary warmth blooming on our tongues, broke cornbread, its crumbs scattering like gold, and clinked glasses of iced tea, the mint leaves swirling. We played Catan, dice clattering, laughter rolling like a tide. Friends shared stories, Lydia about our hospital nights, coffee staining our scrubs, Ben about our hikes, pine cones crunching underfoot, Grace about our childhood games, sneaking cookies under Mom's nose. I stood, my voice trembling but fierce, the fairy lights glowing, the sunflower's scent bold. "Thank you for being here," I said, tears streaming, holding up the game night photo, its frame cool in my hands. I found Michael's second phone, hidden in the garage, full of messages to another woman. It broke my heart, but I'm here to celebrate me, the nurse, the friend, the woman rising. "You see me, and I'm so grateful," Lydia sobbed. "You're our strength, Hannah," Grace cried. "You're unstoppable, sis," Ben added, his voice thick. "You're enough, always." Michael's face paled, his dice frozen, his voice raw. "Hannah, I'm so sorry," he choked, tears welling, his hands trembling. "It was a mistake, a stupid fling. I love you, and I've betrayed you. Please, let me explain." I met his eyes, my voice breaking, tears scalding my cheeks, the sunflower's scent sharp. You hid a life, Michael. I sobbed, raw. Every kiss, every game was a lie. I gave you my everything and you broke me. I'm here for me now. Friends rallied. Lydia's hug fierce, Ben's voice firm. You've got us. As we ended, Tara's daughter, Ellie, ran up, her sneakers scuffing, offering a drawing of me with a sunflower crown, its gold vivid. You're so strong, Miss Hannah, she chirped, her voice bright as dawn. I knelt, tears spilling, the paper crinkling. Thank you, Ellie, I choked. I'm trying. I'd done it, reclaimed my heart, my home, my light under sunflower's golden grace. The next morning, Michael found me in the kitchen, washing Mom's ceramic bowls, their blue glaze glinting like a clear sky. The air thick with coffee's roasted warmth, its steam curling like a fragile vow. Hannah, he said, his voice raw, trembling like pine branches in a storm. We need to talk. Last night you were radiant, unstoppable. I know I broke us. I'm so sorry for the phone, for Amanda. I need to explain. I set down a bowl, the sunflower still pinned to my sweater, its petals curling but fierce, and faced him, my eyes burning. You broke my heart, Michael. I sobbed, my voice shattering, tears scalding my cheeks, the coffee's bitterness sharp. I found your second phone, your secret life, texts, plans, another woman. I gave you 9 years, my love, my trust, every sunflower, and you lied with every breath. How could you do this to us? He sank to his knees, his face crumpling, tears dripping like dew on sunflower petals, his work-rough hands trembling. I'm so sorry, he cried, his voice breaking, raw as a fresh wound. Amanda was a mistake, a moment of weakness. I felt trapped, failing at work, and I ran. You're my home, Hannah, and I've destroyed you. I love you. I gripped the table, the bowl's cool glaze steadying me, my heart torn but firm. Love doesn't hide. I choked, tears streaming, my voice raw, the sunflower's scent a lifeline. You didn't just cheat. You built a life without me, lied through every game, every kiss. I carried us, and you broke me. I had to learn I'm enough without you. He reached for my hand, his fingers shaking, his voice desperate, pleading, thick with pain. I see you now, he sobbed, his words heavy. You're incredible, Hannah, stronger than I'll ever be. I don't deserve you, but I want to fix this. Therapy, honesty, my whole heart. Please don't let me lose you. I pulled back, the sunflower scent bold, my heart aching but steady. I don't know if I can trust you, I said, my voice cracking, tears warm. You broke our life, Michael, the home we built. I'm not the Hannah who waited. I'm choosing me, my strength, my joy. His shoulders shook, his voice a whisper, raw and broken. You're right, he said, tears falling. You're a light I dimmed. I'll fight for you if you'll let me. I love you. I thought of Ellie's drawing, the sunflowers in my yard, their golden faces unyielding and softened, but my resolve held. If we try, it's slow, I said, my voice steady, the bowls cool under my fingers. Therapy, truth, no more lies. But I'm not waiting for you to save me. I'm living, Michael, for me. He nodded, his eyes desperate but grateful, his voice choked. I'll do the work, he said, fragile but hopeful. Thank you, Hannah. Over the next weeks, my community held me close. Lydia texted, You were a warrior, Hannah. That game night was magic. Grace sent a sunflower wreath, writing, You're a force, sis. Ben called, his voice thick, saying, You showed us courage, bold, radiant. Each message was a spark, rekindling my heart. Michael started therapy, sharing notes, leaving his phone open, but I kept my distance, needing space to bloom. I joined a pottery class, my hands shaping clay, the air sharp with earth and glaze, my heart finding its rhythm. Ellie's drawing stayed on my fridge, its crayon sunflowers a beacon of my light. 4 months later, Michael asked to meet. We sat at a cafe, the air heavy with espresso's roasted tang and the crackle of fresh scones, steam swirling from our mugs like whispered hopes, the sunflower pin on my jacket glinting under the morning's golden light. He looked worn but clear, like a trail swept clean by wind. "Hannah," he said, his voice thick, trembling like pine needles in a breeze. "Therapy's been brutal, but it's showing me why I betrayed you. I felt small, failing at work, and I ran to Amanda, a coward's escape. I broke your heart, our home, and I'll carry that shame forever. I want to earn you back, to be the man you loved." I studied him, tears pooling, my heart soft but steady, the sunflower scent grounding me. "Michael," I choked, my voice shattering, the coffee's bitterness sharp. "I gave you my soul. Every note, every sunflower, every game was for us. You hid a life, lied through our love, and I had to learn I'm enough alone. I'm open to trying, slowly, honestly, but I'm whole now. I don't need you to complete me." He reached for my hand, his fingers trembling, his eyes wet like dew on sunflowers, his calluses catching the light. "I see you," he sobbed, his voice raw, breaking like a wave. "You're radiant, Hannah, a strength I failed. I don't deserve you, but I'll try every day to be worthy. Thank you for this chance." I squeezed his hand, a fragile thread, and smiled, tears warm on my cheeks. The scones crackle a soft rhythm. "It's a beginning," I said, my voice soft, the coffee steam curling between us. "Not a vow." We started small. Coffee dates, therapy sessions, game nights where we laughed, fragile but real. The air warm with cornbread's golden scent and trust's quiet bloom. It wasn't the marriage I dreamed, but it was honest, messy, and ours. That phone, that betrayal, shattered me, but it set me free. It taught me that love isn't just promises, it's truth, courage, choosing yourself when someone builds a lie. I stood up for Hannah, not to break Michael, but to honor the woman who heals, who loves, who grows sunflowers that bloom through any storm. As I sit here now, Mom's ceramic bowls stacked neatly, their glaze catching the sunlight, I feel her whispering, "You're enough, Hannah. You always were." This story isn't just mine. It's for anyone who's faced a betrayal, who's felt their heart splinter, but chose to rise, to shine. Share your story in the comments. How did you find your strength after a lie? Your voice matters. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in the next story.